Welcome to the 33rd video in our series about Unix tools. In this video, I will continue discussing the find command and its companion program xargs. The find command generates lists of file names, and the xargs program takes those lists and runs a command on those file names. So let's get started. Last time, we generated this, but it had the ugly green, and I forgot the color equal never. This is not a problem for traditional Unix, which didn't colorize anything. And this is why you could tell I'm old, because the new stuff colorizes everything and you have to work hard to turn that off. But there we go. I promised you I'd show you how to do it with no colors, and there it is. So, what else can we do with this find command? Well, it turns out we can do a lot of things. Let's say we wanted to rename the Python files to have an uppercase py. Why would we need to do that? There's no good reason, but I want to show you how to do it anyway. So the first thing to do is get a list of all the Python files, which means we simplify our command and remove the C files. And you know, it's good to test to make sure, yes, that only gave me Python files. And then I need to send that to xargs, and we can do something simple. We can just do an echo, which will print the name back. And it says, yes, there's the list of files, and you can see what it does. It put them all together on one line. If we're going to do a rename, we need to do them one at a time. So that's not going to work well. What we want is an echo command for each Python file, which we can count. We have 6 of them, so we need 6 echoes, and we have 1 echo. For things like ls, it's great because we run ls one time on all 6 files. But if we want to use mv to rename, we want to do that mv on each file named separately. So we have to use another option. Let's try that. And you can see the -i option to xargs, where I give it a placeholder, and that's the traditional placeholder. We don't want the shell to interpret those brackets. And then we echo that thing, which turns out to be the file name. So -i is going to tell xargs several things. It's going to say, I want you to do it one command for one file name. And it says, I'm going to use this for the placeholder. And then I give the command, and everywhere I have this, I'm going to give the file name. And again, we've done an echo. So if we said, move that to that.py, you might think that's going to work. But when we look at the output, you're going to see that's not quite what we want. And you can see, oh no, that's not what we wanted. It looks pretty good. I have 6 lines. Each line has mv and the original name correct, but the new name has a double pi on it. That's no good. So we have to ask ourselves, wow, how can I get this thing without the extension? I need some way to get the file name without an extension. And so we have to sort of take a break from our find and xargs and say, wait a minute, a fundamental task is to be able to take a file name and get, for this file name, I just want ext2 and nothing else. How can I get that? It turns out there's a special command called basename that does that job. strip a directory path and suffix from a file. Okay, that's what it does. So, fine. Let's try basename on one of these files. We'll pick one in the middle just to be safe. And you'll see it gives us ex3.py. Almost, but it's still got that extension. The .py extension. So I'm not happy about that. And wow, what do I do if I need that? There's another command called dirname that gives us just this part. So I can get just this part, or I can get just this part, but I still don't know how to get just this part yet. So let's try basename on ex3.py, and it still comes back ex3.py. So maybe we haven't figured out all the options on basename. Let's take a look. It says it's going to remove the suffix, but we have to tell it what suffix to remove with the -s option. Okay. I'm a patient man. Aha! So I've got the ex3. Now, can I do that on this thing, the whole thing? And I can. Wow, so much work to just get the ex3. But okay, we've learned a few commands while we were at it. We learned about basename. We learned about dirname. And when we did basename, you can see it also stripped this. So if I wanted to generate ex3.py with uppercase py, how would I do it? And this is where you need some shell magic. So I guess I need to show it to you. If I say echo basename -s.py of our file, what happened? Well, what this does, this thing and this, they say, hey, run the command inside, and then whatever the command would print, use that and send it to the echo command. So we really need something like that. And then we need more than that. We really need the directory. And a slash. Wow, I finally generated some of this, but you can see I still don't have the path, and that's because I've made a mistake. Here, I didn't use the full name like I was supposed to. There. Now I've used this name the same in both places, and we should get what we wanted. So this huge expression does what we wanted. Are there other ways to do that? Sure, but this is one of them. On some really old systems, you might see a different syntax. And when I'm thinking really old systems, I'm thinking, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. It runs stuff from 10 years ago. And you see that also works, the backtick. And the backtick will actually work on some shells that are so old that this and this are not understood. If you were on a Solaris system or AIX or HPUX, you might have to use this kind of format. Okay, let's do a few up arrows till we get our find command back. And that's what we had. And we said, okay, let's move the original name with no changes. And then we want to get dirname of that thing and a slash. Don't forget your backtick. And then we need basename minus s.py of the name. And then we want to add a .py, but we need, don't forget the backtick. Let's see how that looks. Almost. You notice how it's got this sort of double ugliness. So, wow, what happened? Well, let's just look at parts of it. So if we said, give me the dirname, and you say, wait a minute, if I do dirname on this, I should see that. Well, let's remove these. And I get a dot. I still get a dot. And you have to ask yourself, why is this happening to me? And we're out of time on this video, so please come back for the next video. I will show you how to solve this problem, but this short video format means we can't do it all in one video. I want to thank you for listening.